In the last 5 years, I have reviewed quite a few older games that have come out for the Wii's Virtual Console, and I've gotten multiple requests to give you my top 10 list of my favorite games that I reviewed for the Virtual Console. So I thought with my 500th video coming up, I'd go ahead and do it. Now I did decide to stick to one per franchise, and by that I mean one Mario game and one Zelda game. And yes, that's a spoiler, but that's more of a no-duh spoiler, as you knew it would be on the list somewhere. Now before I start this list, I want you to remember this is a list of games that I've reviewed. If your favorite game isn't on this list, it's probably because I didn't review it, or I don't agree with you. Over the last 5 years, I've only done about 50 or 60 Virtual Console games. I'm mostly focused on the Wii, so that might be another reason why your favorite might not be on this list. So with that said, here we go. Number 10. Pac-Man. You know, I thought I'd start off this list with a very simple game. Yeah, it's a very repetitive game, but you know what? I still enjoy playing it. And it's definitely one of those titles that when you bring it out, people are going to instantly go play it. Pac-Man. Originally named Puck-Man, the creators changed the name because they knew that there would be a lot of no-good teenagers who would remove the P from it and add in another letter. Come on, we all know what I'm talking about. Duckman. How crazy would it be if they changed it to that? Silly teenagers. Number 9. Donkey Kong Country. I know there's quite a few people out there that don't agree with me that this is the best of the Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo, but I loved it. It was difficult yet addicting enough to keep playing, plus it was fresh and new at the time, so it's probably just me loving the first one the most.
All the levels were well made, from the jungles to the mine cars. Even the snow-capped mountains looked great. Plus they all had plenty of secrets to uncover, which made replaying them even more fun. The game is also educational, since I learned that monkeys apparently can breathe underwater, and they love to ride swordfishes.
Number 8. Sonic and Knuckles. I have reviewed every platform Sonic game that was out for the Virtual Console, and that was a lot of them. And I picked this one out because it was the best of the bunch. It took some of the best gameplay elements of Sonic 2 and improved upon them. If you ever want to play a great old school Sonic game, this is the one you should play. But if you play as Knuckles, you'll find that he has the ability to float in the air and latch onto walls like Spider-Man. This becomes useful when you want to access parts of the game that Sonic can't, like high walls. Knuckles was fun to play as, even if he couldn't jump as high as Sonic. He made up for it with his own abilities. So it makes replaying this game even more fun. Number 7. Star Fox 64. I'm not a big fan of space fighter games, but there was just a charm to this game that I couldn't deny. I love the different ways you could exit a level to branch off in different paths so you could play the game in multiple ways. It made the title very replayable and definitely worth the money to download it. You'll always be doing something different in every level, so it made every level exciting and fun to play. However, there was one level where I could have sworn I've seen this exact scenario before. You had to destroy a bunch of enemy ships, then a mothership comes down to fire a destruction beam into a building. So you have to destroy its main weapon before it can take out the building below. I just can't place where I've seen this before. Number 6. Punch-Out! There was a reason I picked this as the very first game I ever reviewed. I love this game. Learning how to dodge and throw punches depending on the fighters that you were going up against was great. It wasn't an easy game, but it definitely was very replayable. The other opponents are bigger than your character, and in some cases, way bigger. It makes you wonder how Little Mac is ever going to take them down. It's even more disheartening when some of them openly use magic in the ring. You would think the ref would be calling the match when the opponent is vanishing in the ring. But nope, that's what you get when you get a plumber to do a referee's job. Thanks, Mario. Number 5. Chrono Trigger. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this game as much as I did, but this game was a great RPG. The storyline was amusing and thrilling to play, and the characters were some of the most memorable the Super Nintendo had to offer. Now, you can only have 3 characters in your party at a time, which is pretty normal for an RPG. However, the way this game deals with this is almost sadistic. Fairly early in the game, you get 4 characters, and you all enter the portal together. Now, the time vortex can handle 3 people, not 4. So it throws you to the end of time to correct this. The old man there who's watching over time tells you that only 3 people can go through a portal at a time. So anyone else will need to stay there. So someone other than Chrono will need to stay stranded in the end of time just waiting for you to return. That does bring up a couple questions. One, if they're stranded in the end of time, why can I easily switch between them with the press of a button without the need to go back to the end of time to retrieve them? And two, there's a point where there are 3 people waiting in the end of time. Why can't those 3 people go into their own portal and then join Chrono on their adventure as an equal and not just a person waiting for him to return? There just really was no point in having the characters trapped at the end of time, since they really aren't trapped. If they really did trap the characters at the end of time, it would have made the game much harder. Number 4. Kirby 64. I picked this one because of the ability to combine powers. It was a fantastic gameplay addition that should be standard in all Kirby games, as mixing powers was very fun to do. Plus the gameplay was very entertaining.
The gimmick of this game is that you can mix enemies' powers. I thought it was very clever because you mix and match powers, so you never quite know what you're going to get when you mix 2 powers together. Sometimes you can make something that's completely powerful, and sometimes you can make stuff that's absolutely worthless.
But this one combination will kill you if you use it too much. And this power is dynamite.
Dynamite!
What was that?
Sorry. I know you don't get that reference. It's from a 70s show. Never mind, I'm old.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Number 3. Harvest Moon. This one might surprise you that it's on this list, as I wasn't expecting to love this game as much as I did. But this title sucks you in with its simple premise and never lets go. I can't tell you of how many hours of lost sleep I got just wanting to get my farm just right.
Alright, let's get a farmin'. Ugh. Do I have to talk to every villager? Okay, when does the fun start? Could this be any more boring? Okay, so I get it. You have to grow vegetables, then pick them, then repeat. What is the appeal of this game for so many people? I need to finish my chores before the festival. I wonder if I have time to pick grapes and redo my garden a little. Oh, damn, it's midnight! Okay, just one more day's worth of work and I'll stop playing and go to sleep. Man, do I have a busy day today. I gotta harvest all those vegetables, plant more grass so I can have more feed for the chickens, and... oh no! I gotta get up in 3 hours?!
Number 2. Mario 64. When I had to choose from all the NES games, Super Nintendo games, and N64 titles that Mario had to offer, I went with the one that I found had infinite replayability. It's the kind of game where you can wander around the grounds of the castle for an hour and not get bored. It's still a fantastic title to play. Mario 64 was revolutionary. I remember everybody buying an N64 but Mario 64. Well, they didn't have much of a choice. It was that and like Pilot Wings. I mean, literally, when you went to Blockbuster to rent... Blockbuster is a rental store where you could rent videos. I actually rented the N64 to try it out. They let you rent entire systems. It was like this big crate that you pick up. Anyways, Mario 64 looked fantastic to me. I couldn't believe it. I came off a generation of 2D platformers, and I never thought Mario would work in a 3D environment. In fact, I never thought any game would work in a 3D environment after playing Bubsy. Nowadays, sure, it looks blocky. At the time, it looked fantastic. Number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. There's no big surprise here. The game is great. This is the title that brought Zelda into the 3D world. I remember playing it for the first time and just being amazed at the freedom and size of the game. It's so much fun to play, even 15 years later. And if you've never played it before, you're really missing out on a fantastic game. Alright, what was your favorite thing about this game?
I like the secrets about this game. There's a lot of them.
Well, Zelda games are always about secrets, and they definitely don't disappoint in this title.
Whether it's an Easter egg or a secret fairy fountain, they're always really cool to find.
You know what I also liked? The sense of humor. Because it's just like the little things. That made me laugh. Like when you had to wake up this guy who's apparently in a coma and nothing would wake him up, but apparently a chicken will. Or when he actually learns a song for the first time on his ocarina, he's just like amazed that this thing starts glowing. And you know what? I agree with him. If I had like a flute and it just started glowing, I'd be like, whoa, what the heck? Well, that's my top 10 list of my favorite games for the Virtual Console. And I thought it would be fitting if my next game that I reviewed would be a Virtual Console game as well. So for my next review, I'm going to be doing Earthbound. Thanks for watching.